In this session, we will try to uncover how avoid and notify activities work in TIBCO Business Works 5. This is TIBCO Designer. On the left-hand side, you'll see the project panel, global variables, tester, palettes available, and we are exploring as we are going through. And this is a sample repository shipped out of the box from TIBCO, which is having a notify process, on notification timeout process, and wait process. And let's try to explore what each of these processes does in real time. The first process is notify process, which is a timer based starter process, which will be triggered once when we test this process. And then we have a notify activity, which is using a key, which is a correlation identifier between this process and the wait process or the on notification timeout process, which we will just see in a bit. And this timeout is 3 milliseconds. And this is the message we are sending. It's simple hello world message. And then we have logger activity, which is stating that it is executing the notify process and then end this process. And let's go to the wait process, which is again another timer based process, which triggers once. And certainly we can configure this to trigger in regular intervals. And this is the wait activity, which will wait for the notify activity in this process. And here we have the key again as key one, which is the correlation identifier between these two processes, which is matching in this case. And the timeout is 3 milliseconds again. For example, I will not set any timeout here, which means that it will wait until it receives the notify a response from notify activity. And the next process, which is on notification timeout, and this process will trigger in case of any timeouts on the notify activity, which means that it is not able to communicate with the wait process for some reason in real time. And this will trigger, and it is trying to log the same message and ending this process. We will try to mimic some real-time scenario so we better understand how these activities communicate in real time. Instead of hello world, let's say customer order let's say customer placed an order. This is my message. For example, I'm ordering some iPhone or something like that. So this is the message to notify. And in the wait process, there is some, for example, there is some business logic which will uh, take care of the customer order. And on the notification, on notification timeout, we will log the same message with some additional details. I'll concatenate this message and say, but customer placed order, but order management application is down. Please take appropriate action. And this is my message. And in real time, imagine a situation where you are the owner of this application and your team is responsible for completing or fulfilling this order. Then you'll receive this notification in your team email box saying that this application is down. And here, let's add some additional logger, which says order fulfilled. And this finishes our design time. Probably I'll clear the console and keep it this way to see what's going on with our application. I'll go to tester, click the play button and select load all the processes which I have configured here and load selected. Then I'll click the console. Here, let's go here first. The process triggered, notify activity triggered, the messages customer placed an order, log messages executing the notify process. Then let's go to the wait process. And here we have received the message from the notify customer placed the order, and log message says that order fulfilled. You have to imagine that there is some business logic in real time which took care of the order, and this is just a logger message after the order fulfillment is completed. For the benefit of time, we can easily mimic some real-time logic where order is fulfilled, but for the benefit of time, other people's time, we are uh, just logging the message that order is fulfilled. And let's see the console and the series of events that took that happened. Okay, so we have triggered the processes, and you can see on notification timeout process started, but it didn't get triggered because there was no timeout situation here as of yet. And the first log message is coming from the notify process saying executing the notify process where we received the customer order. And in the wait process, we do some real-time logic and we fulfill the order which we received from the notify process, and the log message says order is fulfilled. Now let's stop this and go to these processes, and we have the timeout set as 3 milliseconds, and we have the wait process. For some reason, we do not send an acknowledgement to the notify process in time because we have some other business logic in between, uh, which didn't finish in time. So just to mimic that situation, I'm just adding a sleep activity, and the timer on the notify process is 3 milliseconds, and I will sleep for 1 second. In this scenario, this is some real-time business logic where I'm calling some external web service or making a database call or waiting for some message to be received from some messaging system in real time, things like that. That is what I'm trying to mimic here. So it is taking 1 second for me, and I'm not able to get or acknowledge the notify message on this wait activity. And now let's see what happens. The ideal situation is on notification timeout process should trigger this time. And bear in mind that on notification timeout activity works in 60 seconds interval. For 60 seconds, it will go see if there are any unacknowledged notify messages. And if there are any messages, then this process will trigger. In the earlier case, here we have the timeout 3 seconds, and within 3 milliseconds, within 3 milliseconds, our wait process has acknowledged that message, and this 60 seconds in this 60 seconds of time, that message will be removed from uh, the timeout activities queue. This is all internal, and we should not be worrying too much about how this mechanism works. But bear in mind that this triggers every 60 seconds and sees if there are any messages which do not have acknowledgement, then this process will be triggered. If you have to decrease the time in which it will trigger 60 seconds, if you want to decrease it or increase it, you can do uh, by changing the configuration files inside of TIBCO Business Works, which is out of the scope for this demo. Anyways, I'll start the timer process and load it and see what happens. Here, the notification process has sent the notification saying that customer placed order, and we have come to the wait process. I think I let me increase the timeout here and stuff. 1 second, I'll increase it to 10 seconds, and let me rerun it because I wanted to wait in the wait process and not send any response to the notify process. And I think I need to make this timeout more than 60 seconds because my on notification timeout will trigger only after 60 seconds. And also, let me clear my console and keep it ready for the next execution. And this time I'm sleeping for more than 60 seconds for sure. And we already saw the notify activity has sent the message. And where is my console? Here on notification timeout process started. Uh, notify process is executing or it's completed execution. And this is around 20:06 seconds. And let's see what happens in 60 seconds. Okay, now our on notification timeout process has been triggered because it's more than 60 seconds and the customer placed order was not acknowledged because the wait process is waiting on some external call, which is the sleep activity. And that is the reason on notification timeout process got triggered and sent a message to the application owner saying that customer placed order, but order management application is down. Please take appropriate action. And this is how wait and notify and on notification timeout activities work in Business Works and how to leverage them in real time business scenarios using TIBCO Business Works. I'll stop here and continue.